Why container gardening? I have been getting that question quite a bit lately, and I totally understand the question, especially for persons who have joined my community, my channel lately. For persons who just discovered Farming on the Rocks, I totally understand that question. The number one answer to that question, guys, I am literally living and farming on rocks. This right here, this is called honeycomb or honeycomb rock, and this is how my entire property is. When we bought the property, we had absolutely no fruit trees, no soil. There were shrubs and some trees growing out of the rock, solid rock, the cracks and so on. But apart from that, there was absolutely no edible vegetation on the rock. So that is my number one reason for growing in containers. It is simply because I had no other choice but to plant stuff in containers. There are more reasons, and I understand that some of you might be asking the question because you are thinking of starting a garden and you might be interested in using containers. So that might be the reason. So I'm going to explain to you other reasons apart from the rock why I grow in containers. Guys, I am so excited about this. This is my strawberry, my baby strawberry plant, and this I took off from my two mother plants right here and made my own little plant, and I am so proud of it. The reason why I'm showing you this is because of how easy it is to move your plant from one place to the other. For strawberries, they enjoy the sun, but if it is extremely hot, they have to be removed for part of the day out of the sun. So planting strawberries in here rather than a raised bed or in the ground, you're able to move your plant if needs be. Even if it is a natural disaster or something like that, you can move your plant out of the extreme condition. So that's one of the reasons why I enjoy planting in containers. I'm gonna find a home right beside mommy for baby strawberry. Awesome, guys, and I have 1, 2, 3 more runners putting on plenty leaves that I'm going to be able to move soon. So these I'm going to have to find new homes for, because I might make another area for strawberry only. That is the dream, to be able to come out here and just harvest strawberries for breakfast. Guys, how quickly they start producing. Every morning I come out and look for a blossom. Wow. Guys, I have to keep my soapy water handy so I can spray, because I started eating this cabbage. And this is another reason why I plant in containers, for pest control. If I had the cabbages in a bed, chances are I'd have much more damage before actually noticing it. So when they're in their individual little containers, I'm able to do my checks every morning to ensure, check how beautiful this one is, to ensure that there are no pests. Like on this little tiny Tim tomato, these are leaf miners on there. I'm able to check and remove any pests that are on my plant. This are tons. This is a crooked neck squash, and I'm seeing 2 little ones, 2 little fruits coming on there. Try to get that to focus for you. Yes, so I'm able to easily check to see if there are any pests. My cayenne pepper, the whiteflies enjoy these plants. So all the peppers, as a matter of fact, this is a baby bell pepper, they enjoy these plants. So I'm able to come out and just quickly check each individual plant when they're planted like this. The stink bugs and the hornworm enjoy the eggplants. I'm able to quickly check to see that the plants have no pest pressure, and if so, I can remove the pest instantly and keep my plants looking good and producing well. I even have peanuts over here. I had no idea worms ate the peanuts. The same worms that eats the corn, they were eating my peanuts, and so I was able to spot that quickly. While if it was a field of peanuts, I wouldn't be able to do that so easily. So that's another reason why I enjoy planting in containers. Another reason is for how beautiful, well, to me, how beautiful they can look if you arrange them neatly. It just looks so cool in the garden, especially if you're able to get nice looking pots. But if you're not able to, I started out with just half a bottles and stuff like that, like the one down here. You can always paint them if you don't like the way they look naturally, but I just enjoy arranging the containers in the garden. And we're trying, it's a work in progress, we're trying to make it look even more beautiful by creating stands to place them on so that they're neatly arranged. But I enjoy watching other YouTubers' channel and seeing how neat their container gardens are. It's just so beautiful. You're growing food to eat, and it is growing in a very pretty environment. It is so calming to come into your garden in such a nice, clean, fresh environment, so neatly arranged. So yes, that's another reason I enjoy planting in my containers. It is not so much an issue for me as it relates to invasive crops such as sweet potatoes. I do plant in some DIY raised beds as well, and that's to contain the crop in one location so it doesn't spread and cover the entire area, because even though I have rocks, it won't root, but it will spread and cover a wide area. So that's one of the things you might want to consider when planting stuff that will spread all over the garden. You can plant them in containers, raised beds, stuff like that, to keep them in one location. I have so many things like these in the garden. Let me just show you a few. Another such plant is the Malabar spinach. This thing will cover your entire garden in no time. So if it is that you just want a little to use on a daily basis, you can plant it in a pot and it will do just fine. As you see mine here, it is doing incredibly well. As soon as it gets to almost to the ground, I'll cut it so it continue to just bush out and stay contained in that location. But it is doing fantastic in its little container. That's a 2.5 gallon container. This is another such plant that will take over. Even the marigold, those will take over the entire garden. The basil will take over. I have both varieties of basils growing here. Well, 3 different varieties: the variegated, the red, and the green. Those will take over your entire garden, especially when they start to seed. I'm sure I'm gonna get basil growing in my tomato, but I like to keep them close to the tomatoes for pest control purposes. Oh my gosh, I'm seeing a little radish. Guys, I plant radish so many times and I've never gotten any. Now I'm sure I'll get 2. I'm seeing 2 little bulbs already. That is awesome. Guys, when you plant in containers, you're able to tailor the container to whatever crop you're planting. I have carrots growing in this container. Let me give you a closer look. Ah, so heavy. Look at that. Tons of carrot seedlings. The reason I planted, guys, the garden is looking good, but Marie, I have had so many challenges. Carrot is one of my biggest challenges in the garden. I have planted carrots so many times and I've never actually gotten I've gotten harvest, but it's not near what I want to get from a carrot harvest. So I'm trying so many different methods. Now this is a very soft, light soil, and I planted them in a deep bucket, very rich soil, and I place it in a bucket because the nutrients will stay in the bucket. There are very small drain holes in there, so the water won't drain too quickly. And it's deep also because I want long carrots. Guys, wish me luck. Well, if it was in the ground, I'm not able to say if there are rocks in the way. I'm not able to say if it is draining properly because it is flat on the ground. I don't know what is happening beneath. There could be clay, there could be rocks beneath the soil. But in here, I know exactly the soil that I place in there, the nutrients, and I'm going to keep you posted, guys, to see if this is a success. I am planting carrots in a container like this for the first time. I usually do it in a raised bed or my tub down there or a tire. I'm doing it in the bucket for the first time, and I'm hoping for success. Yes, guys, wish me luck right there. So that's another reason, if you're looking into container gardens, you can choose the container that suits your particular veggie that you're planting or crop that you're planting. And speaking of that, here I have my lovely pak choy growing. And speaking of the type of veggie, you have some vegetables that have really deep and big root system, while others are very shallow and the root system is fairly small. Pak choy, they don't really have a big root system. It might go a little deep, but if it should hit the bottom of the container, it will bend and it won't be root bound. So these do absolutely fine in these little 1 gallon containers. And I will keep you posted and show you what the harvest of these look like when I'm ready to harvest them. And it's the same with the cabbages. The cabbages are in 2 gallon containers, and I harvested 2, and the root was like halfway in the container and they produce just fine. So that's another reason why I enjoy using containers for these. The pests, as I said earlier, I can easily check in the mornings for the cabbage worm. Love these things. I can easily check and remove them, and I'm able to get lovely vegetables. So I did not have a choice when I started using containers, but it worked in my favor. Excellent. So whether or not I would recommend container gardening, yes, I would. And it might not be that you must use containers, but for the reason of pest control, for beautification, you might want to use it in your, not everybody garden in their backyard, you might want to use it in your front yard or even on your patio. It looks good and it brings a lot of oxygen in your environment to have it close to you. So yes, consider container gardening. It has worked for me. As I said, I had no choice, but given the opportunity now, based on my experience using containers, even if my life should change and I end up elsewhere off of the rocks, I would still do container gardening, mostly because of the pests and the ability to move my container in the event of a natural disaster. I would still use containers to garden in, mostly containers to garden in. All right, so thank you again for joining me. I appreciate you so much. To my members who joined recently, welcome. Thank you for the contribution. For those who have been contributing via super chat, thank you for the contribution, guys. Appreciate it. Please, if you're watching and you've not yet subscribed, press that subscribe button and also the notification bell so you'll be notified whenever I post another video. Please remember to like, leave your comments, guys. Your comments are important to me. Share with your friends. That's also important to me, because if you like my videos, your friends will like them too. All right, thank you so much. Have a fantastic day. Bye bye.